up, gangsters? So right now, the moon is at 98.6% illumination in the sign of Taurus. If you see my bed moving, it's because my cat is under the blankets currently, just chilling. Yeah, and where was I? Oh yeah, full moon in Taurus is tomorrow, the 15th. If so, it might be today if you end up seeing this tomorrow. If that makes sense. Anyway, yeah. So sorry for the delay on your reading. There has been a lot of changes, right? And as I expect the same to be for you, on a cosmic scale, there have been a lot of changes. On a political scale, there have been a lot of changes. We're all kind of going through a lot. So let's kind of see what exactly this means for you and your personal journey. What's going on in your world? All right, so I'm seeing, okay, so first off, we have the Men in Black card, right? And this is all about like stalking, observing, could even have to do with confrontation and intimidation. However, with the card that comes out after it doesn't feel like it's a confrontational kind of energy. It feels more like somebody could be observing your social media or vice versa. You could be observing somebody else's or kind of trying to figure somebody out. But it feels like somebody's trying to figure you out, right? They're like digging up on you, trying to understand who you are as a person, right? And who you are is this Andromedan energy, right? This is somebody who honors autonomy, free will, somebody who is proficient at manifestation, whether you're aware of that or not, right? And I like to throw that out there because some people just straight up manifest without even realizing, right? And you can be a great manifester, but also be manifesting the wrong things too. So that's also another way to look at this, right? Because, yeah. I mean, if you focus on the negatives, right, you're gonna manifest more negatives. If you focus on your debts, you might manifest more debts. If you focus on success, you're gonna manifest more success. If that's why I think it's why I know. And when we talk about manifestation, gratitude is so important. Even if you're not in a situation that is ideal for you or like where you want to be, finding things to be grateful for and focusing on those things really manifests more things to be grateful for, right? So there's that. But I am curious about this Men in Black energy, right? It's like spy energy. Somebody's spying on you, or vice versa. You're spying on somebody, right? Let's check it out. Let's see. It's like trying to get a deeper understanding of who you are, right? If that's the case. And you're just kind of all over the board here, right? Like I'm seeing this yin yang energy over here. I'm seeing the Metatron energy. I'm just seeing so much, right? The Kabbalah. We've got the Triskelion, the Flower of Life, the Tree of Life, all this like really kind of hidden in this imagery here, right? So, I'm really perceiving that like you're very spiritually inclined or you're about to be, right? You're diving into the realms of what that means, right? And the way I like to explain this is that you're not a human having a spiritual experience, you're a spirit having a human experience, and then really changes your perspective on spirituality when you realize that when you're diving into spirituality, you're really diving into the largest part of yourself, the largest aspect of self, right? The way I see it too is that you don't have a soul inside your body, you have a body inside your soul. Okay, like your soul, your aura, your electromagnetism, it really comes way out here, right? It's really projected out here, and that's why people can feel your energy, right? Because it's projected outwardly, outside of your physical material self, right? So yeah, anyway, back to where I was. Let's figure out what this is. Could be an ex kind of observing your social media, or kind of seeing where you're at this time. Looks like you're in your own kind of world and doing your own shit right now, right? But with the Five of Pentacles, this is somebody who feels left out in the cold, or somebody who is feeling like that lack mentality, right? They might be feeling like they're lacking you, or but there's just this energy of somebody feeling left out in the cold, right? With the Fool in reverse, Uranus energy, strong on the Aquarius, Aries energy. This feels like they're not trying to do anything foolish or stupid or impulsive, right? It's just they're in a state of observing, right? Which happens. It happens. Even people who are not your exes, or even people who don't even have romantic feelings, will probably observe your social media at some point, right? That's just the nature of the thing. But yeah, it's like somebody who kind of checks in to see where you're at, but I don't see them rushing in either to like communicate or to take any action. It's just observing. So, anywho, doesn't seem super, like it super matters, right? It matters if it matters, I guess, to you. So, anyway, let's see where you're at in your journey, what your focus is. We've got Five of Cups. This is kind of a focus on emotional disappointments, on the things that have been lost, on, if you notice, he's focused on these three cups that have spilled out, right? Cups in tarot represent emotions, right? These are things that you've invested in emotionally that have disappointed you, right? Or that you've been left feeling a bit defeated in those situations, right? Well, there's like two full cups right behind you, and it's like while you're super focused on what is lost, you kind of lose sight of what is there, right? We do have the Queen of Pentacles, which tells me that you are definitely in the energy of focusing on your finances. You could be like an entrepreneur. Yeah, like an entrepreneur. You could be like somebody who's trying to focus on like how you could start a new business, or maybe you have like side hustles, or perhaps you invest in stocks or something. But there's this energy of really focusing on your finances and really trying to bring that up, because I feel like you feel better when you're doing better, right? And so So yeah, I do see that focus, and I do see that being a good thing. With the devil in reverse, right? Capricorn energy, this is letting go of toxic things, right? Addictions, obsessions, which I don't really feel the energy of obsession, but it's like, the things that, the disappointments that you focused on is probably a better way to put that, right? I see you kind of putting that to rest, like being like, okay, maybe I have like poured too much energy into this. Maybe I have given something from the past too much power over my emotional state, right? Or maybe and there's just this energy of kind of coming to this realization that you may have been over invested yourself into situations that are just disappointing and they're not really worth your attention anymore, right? And so I feel that you're coming to this realization and really focusing on the now and the future, like what you can do for your personal betterment, right? We have the Prince of Pentacles, right? And I see that this is like, somebody could be like in your, it's hard to perceive what this person is to you, okay? Because a prince is not a king, right? But you are showing up as a Queen of Pentacles, regardless of your gender, whether you're male or female, right? This really just has more to do with the energy of the card than like it has to do with like Queen of Pentacles, whether you're male or female or whatever the fuck. It's just that your energy is so focused, it's creatively focused on how you're going to get into your next cycle, right? How you're going to level up financially, right? This is requiring you to get real imaginative. This is the state of manifestation. It's where you're visualizing, you're contemplating, what can I do? What are my options at this time, right? You might, you know, this Prince of Pentacles could be somebody who looks up to you. This could be a family member. This could be somebody who is observing what you're doing and taking note, right? Like you're an influence in their life, or like what is the word I'm looking for? There's a word. It's like they look up to you, right? It's like they're seeing what you're doing and they look up to you, right? This could be a sibling, a child, it could be, whatever. This could also be a younger individual who might have romantic interest in you, right? Because they are showing up like offering something, and this Prince of Pentacles, right? So there's that, but it doesn't feel that way. It almost looks like somebody is just like they look up to you, right? Like you're a role model of sorts, and that in itself is a lot of responsibility, right? When you have somebody looking up to you and you have a lot weighing on you on that part, then it makes you want to live up to your potential, right? It makes you want to live up to your highest self, because somebody's watching, somebody is taking notice, somebody is observing what you're doing, and you want to be a good example for them, right? We have the Justice in reverse. This is Libra energy. Perhaps recently you might have had to deal with some karmic payments, right? Karma is hard, right? It's things that come from your past lives even, and everything else, soul contracts that need to be fulfilled and closed out. And I feel that you could be feeling a little bit unbalanced, right? Like I feel like I've talked about this recently in another reading about like needing to be grounded, about needing to really focus on where you're at and what's important, right? A lot of the times, nothing is really super wrong with our lives. It's just our perception, our emotional reaction to other people's perceptions, right? And it's like when you get, when you, how do I do this? How do I say this? When you get to the nitty gritty of it, right? And you really look at your life objectively, right? Like, are you fed? Do you have an income source? Do you have a roof over your head? You know, do you have a form of transportation, or do you have friends that are willing to help you out with that if need be, right? These are things that are your immediate needs, right? Or your immediate, like what you need in your life for basic sustainability, right? And once those needs are met, right, then everything else is just kind of like you can take it or leave it, right? Relationships, status, whatever, you know, all that, you can take it or leave it. But as long as your basic necessities are met, that should be your biggest focus, right? And this helps to balance you out when you take your focus away from all the things that don't need it, and then you pile drive all your focus into the things that are important. You know, about your financial stability, paying off your debts even can be part of this, you know, because then that helps to build stronger foundations for yourself in the future, right? It helps you to be able to get like home loans, car loans, rental agreements, all those kinds of things, right? So, you know, I see that being a good thing to focus on, but focusing on sex and relationships and friendships and socializing and all that other stuff, that's just extra. Yeah, that's just extra. And when you pull your attention away from those things in particular and you just hone in on the most vital necessities, then you start becoming overall more happy because you realize that those things, that those external validations and sex and drugs and alcohol and friends and whatever the hell, all those external validations, they don't bring happiness, right? They just give you like a temporary dopamine rush, right? That goes away and it goes away and then you're still stuck in the same spot. But when you focus on solving your own problems, that gives a sense of relief, a sense of stability, a feeling of success, a feeling of being able to overcome your issues. You know, this is really the foundation of making yourself happy, you know, is being able to take care of your most basic necessities and then going from there, right? And just starting here and just, you know, there's no need to do everything at all at once. It's like baby step your way if you got to, right? Any amount of progress is still progress, you know? We've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, following up the Justice in reverse, saying that, like, perhaps you have gone through some hardships lately, right? And it does feel like it's karmic, right? You could have been dealing with karmic relationships. There's a lot of energy of loss, right? A loss of stability, could have been loss of jobs, a loss of house or whatever, you know, like perhaps you feel like you had to lose everything and start all over again, right? Because heavy on that Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups energy, right? That's feeling left out in the cold, feeling like something is lacking, feeling financially depleted, feeling emotionally depleted. You know, it's, you know, that dark night of the soul kind of energy. And I see that you've been going through this, right? And I see that you're, you know, you may feel like you're on the uphill climb, right? Like that's what it feels like. It feels like you're coming out of the hardship because you are focusing on that Queen of Pentacles energy. You're focusing on how to solve your own problems. That is the key to success. Solving problems, right? And starting with your own, right? Just focusing on solving problems. Friendships, extracurricular activities, all that other stuff, that's all not necessary, right? It's just fun, right? It's just a dopamine rush. And if you can get yourself to not be so addicted to your dopamine rush, and get yourself addicted to your progress, right? Or find a way to, shift your habits there, I feel that things could really, like, you could actually be better off than you perceive yourself, right? And it's really, I feel that this shift in your perception or your shift in your perspective is necessary in order for you to understand that life is not really that bad. It's, like, your circumstances are not that bad. There are certain, yes, there are disappointments. Yes, there are things lacking. I mean, and I know, like, especially if you've lost everything and me saying it's not that bad, you're like, what the fuck, bitch? But let me tell you why, okay? Like, why I know, I should say. Because I've been there, okay? I've lost everything. And this is actually a huge foundational step in your spiritual progress, right? It's to understand what actually matters. You have to shed the weight of that which does not, right? I lost fucking everything. And, like, I lost my marriage, my house, totaled my car. Like, I ended up having to switch jobs. I lost everything. And then I had to rebuild myself. And that's where you learn where your true wealth is in that rebuild. That's where you learn who your true friends are. It's like, who was there to help you? Who really cared about you doing well in life and really wanted to help lift you up in that direction, right? That is what real, true richness is. It's when you lose it all and you see who's there for you when you're building it all back up, right? Like, there were countless people who judged me, who looked down on me, who, like, treated me like I was nothing more than an ant, for my situation. And I remember their faces very prominently, right? And it's not even like I need to forgive them or anything. It's not like that. I don't have a grudge to hold there. It was remembering who they were and how they made me feel in those moments when they looked at me like I was nothing, right? And I know that you've had to deal with that yourself, right? You had to deal with these judgments, with these kinds of people and their holier than thou attitude, or they're like, oh, I'm so successful, look at me just doing it, and you're just a loser over there, and I know it hurts. I know it hurts the ego, and I know it sucks to feel looked down on. Honestly though, this too is a gift, because that is going to be your greatest fucking motivator. It's going to be your greatest motivator. And it's not even to prove anything to them. It's to prove something to yourself, that you are not who they fucking think you are. And you're not as lost or as stuck or as failed as they think you are, right? You don't have nothing to prove to nobody, but you do have something to prove to yourself. And you have to prove to yourself that you are not who everybody else decides you are. You are who you decide you are, right? And that's really where we're at in your journey. We have the Three of Pentacles. Somebody here this could be a coworker or a friend or a potential business partner, right? But it looks like somebody here is presenting, like, some kind of path or plan to, like, help come up, right? This feels like a business plan. This feels like you could even be signing some kind of contract, right? Getting into a new home or new business. But it feels like somebody here is trying to help you through this, right? They're trying to help build you up from the ground up. And I feel that, like, you'll know, right? As soon as I say it, that person comes to mind, unless you haven't met them yet, right? But it looks like somebody is definitely reaching out, and it's like they see your potential, they see your worth, and they want to help you on this path, right? And that's also another thing that will be completely burned in your memory forever. The people who did not judge you. The people who relentlessly saw your potential, even when you couldn't, right? The people who saw you when you were down and out, and they're like, oh, hell no, nope, no, you're not staying down there, hell no, right? And, you know, for me, a lot of that, it's my own siblings. You know, my own siblings were the ones that really pulled me out of my darkness. Like, there were times where I was settling in life and my little brother was like, oh no, we're not doing all this, you know, and my sister, you know, stepping in. And same shit, you know, she just would not let me, be without help. You know, even if it was rough for her, you know, and I think that's what real family is about. It's like you're just always there for each other, relentlessly, you know, relentlessly there for each other. And I feel this for you too, right? I feel this camaraderie for you. Like, somebody sees who you are and they want what's best for you, and they're going to do what they can to help you in that. Right? This could be a potential roommate or business partner or something on that level, right? Could even be a boss, coworker. All right. Well, what is your advice at this time? Take it away. Your advice is the Tower. With the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is allowing things to fall apart. This is allowing, right? Without trying to micromanage the situation, this is allowing that which needs to end to do so, right? Things that did not bring great fortune into your life, right? The things that left you feeling down and out, whether this was friendships, family ships, jobs, relationships, whatever. It's like the things that brought you bad fortune, you know? Like, and you notice that, like, every choice you make in life, you get these butterfly effects, right? And one thing I've noticed is when I'm on the right path, a lot of good shit happens, right? A lot of miraculous shit happens, you know? Things that I was like, there's no way I'm gonna ever come out of this. And then, like, my friend John, just out of fucking nowhere, is like, hey, I just felt, like, called to. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna, you know, send this to you, whatever. And sends me a huge donation. That fucking saved me for that month, you know? There are situations like that, right? But then when I'm on the wrong path, I also get messages that let me know I'm on the wrong path, and that's a lot of misfortune, right? And this is the card of misfortune when the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, right? And it's like when you notice that there's like say you switch jobs and then all of a sudden everything starts going wrong, everything starts falling apart, everything is just then you know that's not the place for you, right? That's the universe's way of saying, hey, this ain't it. Keep going. Go another direction, right? And the same with relationships. You get into relationships and all of a sudden it's just all stress and chaos and cortisol levels up to here. And then you're like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be like a great thing. And it's just not. then that's a huge indicator on a soul level that that's just not the way you're supposed to go, right? And you know, it's true for any direction you take in life, right? From where you live, who you're with, the friends you hang out with, the social circles you keep, right? Like if you go out a lot, right, and you notice that you're always broke, right, and that's your misfortune for going out a lot, then maybe this is a big indicator that you need to let your social circles fall. And you need to take some time in isolation or in solitude to really build yourself up in that way, right? So yeah, your advice here is to let go of misfortune, right? Is to let the things that are not serving you in life, to let them fall away, right? To let that come to an end, right? Let's see what else. Yeah, we have the High Priestess, Piscean energy showing up, and this really tells me that your intuition is guiding you. Oh yeah, and the Tower is Mars energy, if that is any relevance to you. But yeah, so High Priestess, this is about your intuition, right? You feel it intuitively, what needs to go, what needs to stay, what is important, what is not important. You know, right? Like it's in there, right? With the Seven of Cups, I do see romantic options, right, opening up for you, and it's like right after you let all this shit fall away. It's like right after you stop focusing on everything that fell apart and all the misfortune that came with it. You stop focusing on that as misfortune and you start focusing on that as a blessing, right? Because it you know, those things needed to fall apart so that you could live a fulfilling life, because you weren't actually happy or fulfilled in those situations. Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened, right? Seven of Cups tells me that there's healing on your journey, and you perhaps might reach a point in the near future where you decide to start dating again or opening up yourself to romantic options, right? Seeing what's out there. I see every cup has something different to offer, right? And so I see you focusing on that as well. So, yeah. All right. What else do you need to know? And perhaps even just casually dating could do wonders for your confidence, right? Even if you're not looking to like get into a relationship, or you know, you're just kind of testing the waters, going on a couple dates here and there, maybe not like making any big decisions right away, just kind of talking to people and seeing, you know, what is out there. You know, so you get into that. I feel that this could be really healing for your confidence too, because then it helps you to see that, one, you are an attractive person, right? Inside and outside, right? And two, this helps, you know, build up your interpersonal skills, your communication skills. Everybody that you meet along your journey is going to teach you something so significant, no matter how stupid they are. Okay, even the stupid ones have something to teach you, even if they're teaching you what not to do or what not to think, you know. So I definitely see that on your path, that you are going to be learning and you're going to be guided by many people. And they're gonna show up in various ways, right? They're gonna show up as friends, as family members, as romantic partners, as whatever, you know. It could be anybody, coworkers, everything. There's something significant in the people you meet. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And that's really, I see where you're coming to in your journey. Yeah, there's also somebody else connected to you, right? And they're showing up as the Princess of Cups in reverse. Somebody who may have had a change of heart about you. But it looks like this is kind of a mirrored energy with the Three of Cups in reverse. You may, like, there could be a friend, or that's what it feels like some kind of friend that you feel like you're just not connecting with, or you feel that they've had a change of heart, or perhaps you're having a change of heart towards them. But it feels like where you once connected really well, I feel that there's a disconnect. I don't know what that relevance is to you, but it's like somebody that you once celebrated with, somebody you once went out and socialized with, had great times with. But I feel that this does feel significant to you in some way, that like somebody that you felt connected to, you no longer feel that emotional connection, right? And that could be one of the karmic ties that needed to be severed, right? This is, when you start looking at your relationships and like at your friendships and things like that as karmic ties, then you see like some of them, yes, you can heal and keep in your life. And some of these karmic ties, there just needs to be healing, forgiveness, love, and separation, and it's challenging, and it hurts, right? There's a lot of like missing and caring for that person. And I feel like even you could sever this cord and like see them 10 years down the 10 years down the line, and you're still gonna feel like that energetic, like you've missed them, or you care for them, or their absence has been relevant, right? Their absence has been felt, and so that's kind of what it feels like. It's like somebody's absence is being felt. Even if you know that perhaps it's better not to reopen that. I just saw a quote the other day that said, missing somebody is your heart's way of letting you know that you love them. All right. And I think that's pretty fair, and that's pretty true. Because we miss the people we love, right? And there's no shame in loving people, right? And it's okay to accept that truth about yourself, that perhaps somebody you've loved, whether it's platonic or romantic or whatever, their absence is being felt, right? Because in some discovery here, it's like you discover you love somebody through their absence. And isn't that a bit unfortunate that that's the case a lot of the times? Because when they're there, you don't really have an opportunity to miss them when they're consistently in your energy. But then when you catch glimpses of what you were together after they've been gone, and then you remember the times, and you remember how you felt in their presence and all of that, and you start to miss them, I believe that's the moment that you truly understand what it is to love somebody, because their absence is felt. And it's okay to love somebody and to not have them in your life, right? And it's okay to feel what you gotta feel. There's no shame in that. And it could be vice versa. This could be the way somebody else is feeling and reflecting on you, right? Because roles could be reversed. I'm just reading it the way I'm seeing it. Interesting, though. What a plot twist. We got the Prince of Cups in reverse. Princess of Cups in reverse with the Prince of Cups in reverse. Very mirrored energy. Very divine counterpart energy. But it looks like energetically neither of you were really ready for that connection, if that's the case. It's like right person, wrong time. Right person, wrong lifetime. You know, and I know that sounds kind of whack to say too, because a lot of people are like, you know, they have this strong belief that you need to be with your twin flame in this lifetime, right? And or your divine counterpart or whatever. But if you're not fucking ready, you're not fucking ready. And if they're not ready, they're not ready. This dance of forever is forever, right? Like, we're always energetically reincarnated, recycled, right? Energy and matter is neither created nor destroyed, just recycled. And energy holds memory. Energy holds cognition, right? Like, that is the very force that gives us our cognitive abilities, right? And so, yeah, just the fact that our brain burns calories indicates how important energy is, right? Because calories are heat energy. So our brains literally eat heat energy in order to power itself, right? Like a fucking light bulb, like, or like a car, or like a computer, or whatever, right? So yeah. It looks like right person, wrong lifetime, if that makes sense. With the Six of Pentacles, it does look like something significant did come of this, right? There was a lot of growth, a lot of maturing that happened as a result of this connection, right? Six of Pentacles is like equal give and take. This is like a balance in partnership. This is feeling balanced in their presence, right? Feeling a sense of okayness when you're with somebody, right? Which is actually like the dopest feeling because, you know, you can spend time with a lot of people and maybe not always feel that like stability or that okayness, right? Like everything's okay, everything's fine because you're in somebody's presence, you know. And I feel that is something that you remember fondly, or that they are remembering fondly, or something that leaves that feeling of absence being felt. Because it looks like, you know, where you may not have had the same kind of balance or in give and take, or the same kind of reciprocity in connections. And I feel that that itself was very significant to you, was the reciprocity. Two of Swords tells me that there was a guardedness about you in this connection. Like perhaps you were trying to protect your heart. Perhaps you were trying not to see things for what they were. Perhaps you were just very guarded, right? Very like self-preserving, right? Which is the opposite of love, right? Because when we love somebody, it's very selfless. It's very like, it's the most courageous thing you can do, because you're literally handing somebody the power to destroy you and hoping that they don't. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, I feel that it was because you were healing from a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of deceit, a lot of defeat. You know, like Seven of Swords in the upright is lying, cheating, stealing, shady ass energy, very like fucked up. And I feel that your guardedness was because you weren't trying to experience that again, right? With the Seven of Swords in reverse, it was like you were preserving yourself, you were preserving your heart, you're not allowing yourself to go through something like that again. And that in turn made you lose something. The self-preservation, right, made you lose something. With the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy, which has been showing up in a lot of readings lately. But I feel that there was something where like perhaps you felt stagnant, or perhaps you feel stagnant. Like you feel like something's not growing or changing, or you feel like stuck. Like you don't know what to do or how to move forward, or what exactly is the right move to make in that situation. Because I feel that in a lot of ways you're still in that self-preserving energy, right? In a lot of ways you're still trying to guard and protect your heart, because you still are trying to protect yourself from feeling that again, right? From feeling deceived and betrayed and harmed, right? Like and so, you know, this does leave you feeling a bit stagnant, right? Or a little complacent, a little bit like there's no growth, but also there's no betrayal, there's no more extra disappointment, there's no more extra whatever. Just a lot of loss, right? And there's like a fear of taking a risk here, right? The Fool did come out in reverse. There's a fear of taking a risk. With the Judgment in reverse, it's like you didn't want to call judgment on your situation, right? Or they didn't, right? Like I said, roles could be reversed, but it's like somebody didn't want to call judgment on the situation. Somebody didn't want to look at it and be like, this is what it is, you know? And it's kind of like leaving something in limbo, right? And there's a lot of this limbo energy, like feeling complacent, feeling stuck, feeling like you can't make a judgment on this situation, because what if you get hurt? What if you get an ouchie? Well, it reminds me of this story I saw on TV once, fucking like a million years ago, probably 20 plus years ago, right? There was this girl, and she was a surfer, right? And I thought she was like probably the coolest person who ever lived, honestly, after I saw this. She was surfing, and she got attacked by a shark, right? Like, shark ate her fucking arm. It was all bad. And you know what this crazy chick did? After she heals up from having her arm mauled off by a fucking shark, she gets right back on that surfboard and surfs, right? Because she loves the surf, right? She loved the waves. She loved that, right? It's like, yeah, there's risk involved. The risk was her entire life, right? It was everything, you know, it was more limbs. She was really risking losing it all because she loved it, right? And that, you know, that's how love is, right? And I think this is a good way to discern if you really love somebody, or if you're really in a position to love somebody. Because it doesn't matter if you've been bitten before, you're gonna throw your eyes right back in those waters if it's something you love, right? And And, you know, the same could be said for like motorcyclists who get into motorcycle accidents. If they love it enough, they're gonna fucking get back on that bike. Skateboarders, right? If they love it enough, they're gonna get back on that board. If you love somebody enough, you're gonna throw yourself back in there. And you're going to take the risk, and you're gonna give somebody the power to hurt you, and you're gonna hope that they don't, right? That's just how it is. And it looks like you have been unwilling to do so. And so that's kind of why I'm like, you know what? Right person, wrong lifetime. Because there still needs to be an emotional maturing that needs to take place between both people here. Right? Not just you, not just them. There's a level of accountability that needs to be taken on both parts. We have the Ten of Pentacles, right? So just focusing on, like I said in the beginning, it's that Queen of Pentacles kind of energy, like focusing on what is it within your realm of control. Business, finance, you know, like building security and stability for yourself. I see that being a big focus for you. With the Four of Wands in reverse, I also see moving being a big focus for you, right? Because I don't feel that you're happy quite where you're at, right? And whether that's moving jobs, moving homes, whatever, there's an energy of movement for you. And that just needs to take precedence at this time. I feel that, you know, even going out on dates, putting yourself out there, meeting new individuals could be very beneficial for you. But I don't think that you should dwell too hard on what was lost, because honestly, que sera, sera. What will be in this life or the next, right? But I do feel that this did happen on purpose, right? Because you needed to understand that you weren't capable of loving somebody the way that perhaps they were, right? Or vice versa. You know, they weren't capable of loving you, you know, as much as you were. If you were the one taking the risk for this connection, you know, and they were the one afraid, that makes sense. And vice versa, if you were the one afraid, or did I say that right? Whatever, you know, and vice versa. You know what I mean? It's kind of like something needed to be learned about this situation. And until, you know, and you know, like even that girl who got back on her surfboard, it wasn't like she went back on overnight, you know. Sometimes it takes time to dive into what you love, right? And I'm not saying that you don't have love for this person or this situation, right? Obviously, we talked about that. You miss them, their absence is felt. There is love, right? But perhaps, like, your focus, where was it? Hold up, I want to pull it out. Your focus on that which was lost instead of that which is there really took precedence, right? And it's like you were so focused on the defeat, the betrayals, the hurt, all that, you weren't paying attention to what was being offered right there, or what was, you know, trying to hold you up back there, you know. And so, and that's okay, right? That's okay, because que sera, sera, you know. I do think that you're starting to see things from a bigger picture, though, from a bigger perspective. You know, it's like everything's like you're looking at things from perhaps their perspective. You're looking at things from your perspective. You're even looking at things from the perspective of the ones that hurt you, you know, and maybe understanding that perhaps there's a bit of self-forgiveness that needs to take place too, because you place so much importance in those who could not love you, and you place so little in those who did, and or vice versa. Perhaps the person you're dealing with is going through that. That it feels like it was hard to move on, right? It feels like, somebody could have showed up being fucking the most perfect person, but at the time, you were just so emotionally distraught and so emotionally focused on what had just transpired, like all the pain and suffering you had just gone through, and that really needed to take your focus, right? Like you needed to heal, you needed to go through that, and you couldn't even pay attention to what was happening over here, right? You couldn't even pay attention. And then it's like, as soon as that person, that was there trying to help you through a situation or trying to be there for you, right? As soon as they kind of walked off and went into their own direction, then you're like noticing, oh wait, your absence is felt now. Like, I was so busy focused on this, I didn't even focus on that until it was gone. Kind of energy, if that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense to you. I feel like we're on the same page on this. But yeah, it's like, unfortunately, from their perspective, their absence was felt too late. And, and that's also, like, not your fault. It's just the way things happen sometimes. Dakshina Kali. She appears fierce, and yet she is benign. Her oracle brings a message that a situation which may frighten or intimidate you is well within your capacity to handle. No matter how dramatic or intense a situation may appear to be at this time, it shall eventually be little more than a passing memory and not have any negative bearing upon your future. Kali Yantra. You have more power to evoke a positive shift in your circumstances than you realize. If anything required for success is lacking, the Divine Mother shall provide it. You're crossing a crucial spiritual threshold. Stay focused, let distractions fall away, and continue to commit yourself to what matters most to your heart. A more beautiful experience awaits you. Kaladara. When hope is lost and a way forward cannot be sensed, Kali's love will find a way. If the path does not yet exist, then it shall be created. If you cannot see or feel how you can move from where you are to where you want to be, Kali's wisdom and grace will manifest at the perfect time to provide what is needed. And that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you all, and I will see you soon.